Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Tuesday, the 29th of July, 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post put on chain. Well, let's see what we got today. We've got a post here from CSW. I'm quite looking forward to going through that. It looks like he's written quite a bit there, and that's fresh off the press today. Babbage calling for BSVs to stick together and unite. We'll have a quick look at the figures. Classic days in 365 days of Bitcoin history, which we'll go through. I've got a classic quote here from Satoshi Nakamoto, i.e. Craig, on today. And today is also the anniversary of GregCoin. Would you believe it? Back in 2015. And then we'll finish with the Venezuela countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Here we go. Right, let's get into this then. CSW says a micropayment driven AI models. A system to deliver precision, accountability and economic feedback in machine intelligence. The future of AI is not merely in scaling parameter counts, nor in fine-tuning LLMs with the doctrinaire fervor of today's academic echo chambers. It is the controlled burn of value exchange, where information becomes accountable, where every correction costs and earns, and where computation itself becomes a commodity traded at the granularity of milliseconds. Micropayments, long derided as economically unviable under legacy systems, become the foundation of AI governance and function in a world where digital cash can move at near zero marginal cost. Forget the current swap of hallucinated citations and models regurgitating consensus sludge with self-assuredness of a tenured bureaucrat. In a micropayment-driven model, accuracy has an incentive structure. Querying a model becomes auditable. Every insight carries a traceable cost and, crucially, a distributable reward. Take corrective feedback. When an LLM asserts that hydrogen has 6 protons and a user corrects it to 1, the system doesn't merely retain, it logs, it hashes, and it pays 0.0002 cents, perhaps to the contributor. Insignificant per act, but at scale it forges a market of veracity. The model becomes not just smarter, but economically tied to its own truthfulness, acquired by a distributed network of informed actors who are finally compensated for doing what social media stole from them, thinking. Extend this further to query and insight. A user asks for a summary, 1 cent, a deeper chain of thought breakdown, 2 cents, each request logged immutably, each contributor credited. No more back box prompt engineering. The ledger doesn't forget. AI becomes an economy, not just a tool. But it's not just epistemology that bends under the weight of value. Compute itself becomes scarce in a rational market. GPU access, biddable by the second, a real-time auction of silicon attention, throttled by demand curves, not corporate accolades or opaque paywalls. No more subsidized hallucinations, no more bloated middlemen. You pay for the heat and cycles, not the brand of the model's custodians. What emerges is not utopia, it is discipline. An AI market where truth costs money, where misinformation loses market share, where feedback is not a social virtue, not a virtual signal, but a revenue stream. Micropayments do not just lubricate, they enforce. They make AI honest, not because we told it to, but because dishonesty is finally more expensive. That's awesome. That's awesome. You cannot implement a micropayment-driven AI system like the one described at scale with granularity, performance, and auditability on the Lightning Network for the following structural and economic reasons. 1. No global ledger, no record, no accountability. The Lightning Network is designed to operate off-chain. That's the pitch. But in a system where model feedback, query, provenance, and user contributions must be permanently recorded to verify who corrected what, who prompted what, and who deserves micropayments or royalties, you need a global immutable ledger. Absolutely. Lightning deliberately avoids this. It routes payments peer-to-peer via ephemeral ephemeral channels with no persistent global state. This means no attribution, no provenance, no audit trail, exactly what a micropayment feedback AI economy demands. 2, cost is not zero. Channel management bleeds value. Every Lightning transaction might appear low fee, but that illusion crumbles at volume and granularity. Channels need to be opened and closed on chain. Liquidity must be provisioned and balanced across paths. Routing fees accumulated. Rebalancing occurs, indirect costs or direct fees. Now scale that to a system where a model pays 0.02 of a cent per correction. Even at 1 cent per action, Lightning channels friction is catastrophic. The cost of channel upkeep exceeds the value transacted. It's like hauling sand over an oil tanker. 3, not designed for micropayments. Lightning was never designed for a sub-cent payment at global machine scale. Dust limits, HTLC minimums, and practical liquidity requirements means that sending that is 1/1000th of a cent or 1,000th BTC is already 3 cents at the edge of tolerable operations. Try doing that 1,000 times per second globally with a ledger of accountability, and it implodes. 4, incompatibility with smart royalty models. Micropayments to contributors must be tracked, stored, and climatable over time. Lightning offers no native identity, no attribution, no logic for conditional distributions. You can't split 1 cent between 5 people across 5 countries and trace that for audit without building a Baroque overlay atop a network designed to forget. 5, the illusion of scalability comes from avoidance. The Lightning Network scales by refusing to do what is needed here, keeping a verifiable record. Lightning is a sleight of hand. By offloading the accountability and state tracking to a black hole of ephemeral channels, it avoids the very function that makes micropayments governed AI models possible. In short, you can't build a digital nervous system on something designed to have no memory. You cannot price truth on a protocol that refuses to store attribution. You cannot incentivize correction, enforce contribution, royalties, or throttle access with precision using a network that dies every time it tries to remember. The cost of Lightning isn't in Satoshis, it's in what it refuses to become. P.S. Learn what the EM dash is. All right, and what the EM dash is. In an SPV-based model, I think that's simplified payment verification-based model, you don't bloat the chain, you anchor truth. You record the hash of a response in a simplified payment verification, a prompt, a correction, or even a microtransaction bundle. The hash becomes immutable proof, time-stamped and globally verifiable. If challenged, you reveal the original. If valuable, you retain it. If inferior, you discard it. But the ledger, Bitcoin's real ledger, says it was. This isn't theoretical. It's the only viable architecture of a micropayment AI economy. Corrective feedback, hash the correction, pay the contributor 0.02 of a cent, anchor the hash. Query chain of thought, anchor the input-output pairs digest. Royalty distribution, aggregate per use or per model hashes tied to payment receipts. The Lightning Network can't do that. It can't even remember what it paid for. But with Bitcoin, actual Bitcoin, not BTC, you don't need full state retention. You commit to the existence of truth, not its replication. Hash it, prove it, pay it. Scalable, lean, honest. And that right there is the difference between a memoryless IOU network and a truth-led economy. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, yeah, and that stems from what we just read out. Brilliant. Kurt Wattick Jr. says, it's so important to have friends who are a lot younger than you and other friends who are a lot older than you. Some lessons can only be learned from a generational perspective that you don't have. That's very true. Very true. I've got friends all ages at the moment, so yeah, I'm in that one. Right, that was cool. So Babbage said here, some more BSVs got to stick together and unite into one place and form more BSV hubs. It would be cool to build together a BSV boot camp. Anyone? That would be ace. Like, I would need to go to a boot camp. You know, just learning the basics. That's all. I just need a direction to be set off in. You know, because obviously I'm busy doing this. These people probably think I like churning these shows out as easy. Like, it's not. Really, it's not. You know, dedication is what it requires. Right, that's 10 minutes already. Let's have a quick look at the figures then. Oh, GregCoin taking a bit of a tumble there. $117,000. Bitcoin top right, 28.15. Transactions right down though, 13.29. But block size still up, 78.91. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, 50 megabytes. So that means there's more data in that one block than the entire column of GregCoin over there. Yeah, relatively small blocks. 16.213.827. Yeah. Oh, look at this. It's 100,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than GregCoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 40% comparable loss. 4.4% more profitable to mine on Fisher Price Cash. 2.3% more profitable to mine on Bcrash. So have a look at the politics in the pie charts, because that's where it is. Global hash rate 7 days, 24 hours. GregCoin hash rate other miners 5.5. Bcrash other miners 17%. Fisher Price Cash other miners 42. And Bitcoin, well, we'll actually have to have a look at what's on chain to see that one. See what that comes up with. Oh, okay. Coove. Whoa. Coove 40%. 40%. QD Link 23.48. TAL 21.21. SA 100 12.12. Gorilla Pool down to 3.03. What is Coove all about? That's a huge percentage on Bitcoin. And TAL was motoring the other day. Maybe Coove have just expanded their mining operation. In fact, maybe Coove have added their hash rate in order to bring the profitability down, because profitability was going up potentially. It looks like the profitability is of all the chains across the board is still being very carefully managed. Very carefully managed. Average fee. Yeah, stay tuned, people. All right, let's have a quick look at these figures then. So GregCoin down to 117. Not really doing too much on the week. Still up on 30 days though. Price still sort of around all-time highs though, really. Let's have a look at Bitcoin though. Where is it? Oh, ETH $3,700. XRP $3.1. Yeah, all the usual shit coins at the front there. Sol, ADA, Doge, Tron. Oh my god. Oh my god. H-bar, yeah. Shiba Inu, whatever. Oh, Bitcoin 20, just inside the 100. $28.13. Breakdown. So volume still Huobi, they're saying, but I think Upbit, well, Upbit is probably the top there. Coin DCX in second, and Gate.io, yeah. Let's have a look at liquidity though. This is changing. So Bitmart, XGo, Hit BTC, Qcoin, CoinW's Addiction. Really? Let's just have a quick look at Upbit then. Oh, what is this? $24-hour trade volume, what, $2.2 million? That's massively gone down from like $16 million. What on earth is going on? And they reckon that they've traded, what, 80,000 BSV? All I can say is I'm not sure on that one. Anyway, let's get a bit of 365 days of Bitcoin history. Check it out. So 29th of July 2009, there was email number 26 of the Marty Malmy emails. July 29th, 2010. There's a quote here: the current systems where every user is a network node is not the intended configuration for large scale. That would be like every user runs their own NNTP server. The design supports letting users be users. The more burden it is to run a node, the fewer nodes there will be. The few nodes will be big server farms. The rest will be client nodes that only do transactions and don't generate. Yeah, and that was a quote there from Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm sure it was. Don't generate. Yeah, from Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder. Also on the 29th of July 2010, CSW said, if you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to convince you. Sorry. There's actually quite a few quotes today. Good ones. So 29th of July. Yeah, the one we just read. And that one there is, if you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to convince you. Sorry. Brilliant. There we go. And this is where he said it. There it is, right down there. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry. And that was in related to this post that said the current system where every user is a network node is not the intended configuration for large scale. That would be like every user net running there. Yeah, we just did that bit. The rest will be client nodes that only do transactions and don't generate. And then he said, see the snack machine thread. I outline how a payment processor could verify payments well enough, actually really well, much lower fraud rate than credit cards, in something like 10 seconds or less. And it was to that where he said, if you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry. Epic. Right, so also on this day, on the 29th of July 2015, GregCoin was created. Let's have a look at the full quote here. This was it, yeah. So Mike Herman, he said, look, it's clear you've decided, and referring to Greg Maxwell, that the way Bitcoin was meant to evolve isn't your personal liking. That's fine. Go make an altcoin where your founding documents state that it's intended to always run on 2015 Raspberry Pi or whatever it is you mean by small device. Remove SPV capability from the protocol so everyone has to fully validate. Make sure that's the understanding that everyone has from day one about what your altcoin is for. Exactly, it's an altcoin. Make sure people know what it's for. Then when someone says, gee, it'd be nice if we had some more capacity, you or someone else can go and point at the announcing emails and say, no, GregCoin is meant to always be verifiable on small devices. That's our social contract and it's written into the consensus rules for that reason. But your attempt to convert Bitcoin into that altcoin by exploiting a temporary hack is desperate and deeply unsettling to many people. Not many people quit their jobs and create companies to build products for only today's tiny user base. Exactly, yeah. Why would you? I'm going to quit my job and build a business that only caters for 7 transactions per second. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. And let's see if they're still there, because we know that this lot keep deleting. Oh, yeah, that's still there. Read more. That's the full email. And Kurt will tell you all about Greg Maxwell and his role in being the lead of the deep state technical team. Yeah, that's a bad egg right there. Right, there we go. That is a 19-minute show. Wasn't expecting that. Awesome. So today's day is the 28th. I need to cross that one off. 29th. Need to cross that one off. It is the Kellenschweller countdown. So remember, stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss all the shenanigans that take place between now and the end of this countdown. It's going to be absolutely epic. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.
Remember, Bitcoin is BSV. Everything else is BS.